If you're an entrepreneur and you feel like you're just drowning in work, then this is for you. We're going to break down the biggest ideas from the Manus AI Hacks ebook to show you how you can get your time back. And maybe, just maybe, finally take that break you've been dreaming about. Let's dive in. So the ebook we're looking at today kicks off with a problem that every single business owner knows way too well. That feeling that there are never, ever enough hours in the day. It's this vicious cycle of endless tasks that just keeps you from focusing on what's actually going to grow your business. Okay, let's be honest for a second. Just think about your last week. I'm not talking about the hours you planned to work, but the hours you actually worked. Was it 50, 60, maybe even north of 70? Yeah, for most of us, that number is probably a little higher than we'd like to admit. And here's the real kicker. A huge chunk of that time isn't spent on big picture strategy or growth. Nope, it's spent just keeping the lights on. It's all the repetitive, tedious stuff, the endless spreadsheets, writing the same customer emails again and again, the back and forth scheduling. This is the stuff that just drains your energy and kills your time. But what if there was a completely different way to think about automation? Not just as a collection of little tools that you have to manage, but as a real partner that works for you. That's the huge idea at the core of Manus AI Hacks. So this slide here makes a really crucial distinction. You know, we're all pretty familiar with single task tools like a Zapier or a ChatGPT, and they're great. They do one specific thing really well. But workflow automation, like what you get with Manus AI, is a whole different ballgame. It's built to handle the entire process, from start to finish, researching, creating, analyzing, and then actually doing the thing, all without you having to play coordinator in the middle. And the name for this concept is an autonomous agent. It's not just another app on your phone, it's an AI system that literally manages those complicated workflows that would normally need a person to jump between different programs and make a bunch of little decisions along the way. Think of it less like a tool and more like a super efficient digital employee. Let's make this real. Think about something as simple as creating one blog post. The ebook lays it all out. I mean, look at this. You're researching topics, reading, and trying to make sense of like 20 different articles, pulling out key points, making an outline, writing a couple thousand words, then editing. It's a huge time-consuming process. Okay, now imagine taking all of those steps we just saw and just handing the entire job over to an agent. Not just the writing part. I'm talking about the research, the outlining, the synthesis, all of it. That is the massive shift from just using tools to actually deploying systems. All right, so this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But what does it actually look like when you put it to work? Let's check out some real-world examples from the ebook and see these agents in action. So first up, let's talk about a major time sink for just about every business out there, content creation. We all know we need to be doing it, but man, the time it takes is just brutal and you have to be consistent. So meet Sarah, a SaaS owner. She went from spending 6 hours every single week grinding out blog posts down to just 1 hour. 1 hour just for a final review. And here's the crazy part. Her blog traffic actually went up because the AI was way more consistent than she could ever be. Just that one change freed up 260 hours a year for her. Seriously, think about that. What could you do with an extra 260 hours? That's more than 6 full 40-hour work weeks of your life that you just got back. All right, let's look at a totally different area, customer support. This is another one of those black holes that can just suck up all your time with the same questions and processes over and over again. And just look at this chart. For this e-commerce business, the average email response time dropped from a pretty painful 8 hours all the way down to just 30 minutes. That's a game-changing improvement to the customer experience, and it happens on its own, 24/7. And here's the business result that really matters. The owner, Emily, saw her customer satisfaction scores jump by 15%. Why? Because faster, smarter answers lead to happier customers, and happier customers are good for the bottom line. It's that simple. So what Emily and Sarah figured out isn't just about optimizing one little part of their business. These individual hacks are awesome, for sure. But the real magic happens when you start stacking them. That's when all these little time savings start to compound into something that can completely change your life. This table from the ebook really puts it in perspective. You save 3 hours on blog posts, another 3 on your newsletters, a couple on social media, 5 on support. Just with these 4 hacks alone, you're looking at over 13 hours saved every single week. So let's zoom out. Based on the examples from the ebook, you could realistically free up 84 hours every single month. I want you to let that sink in for a second. 84 hours a month is the same as getting 2 full work weeks back every single month. That's not just saving time. That's fundamentally changing how your business and your life operates. And that brings us to the final and I think the most important idea in this whole ebook. It's not really about the hours you save, it's about what you do with all that reclaimed time. See, the book completely reframes the whole conversation around automation. It argues that we're all asking the wrong question. It's not about how much the tools cost. It's about the cost of your time. Can you really afford to keep spending hours and hours on work that an autonomous agent could just handle for you? Every hour you spend on that stuff is an hour you're not spending on strategy, on growth, or, just living your life. And that's the ultimate promise here, to stop managing tasks and start directing outcomes. When you automate the work that's consuming you, you can finally take that break you've more than earned. It isn't some fantasy, it's a choice, and your break is waiting.